Good morning, Pelham Road. All right, I'm wearing my mask today to remind you to wear your mask. If you have to go out today, be with people, you wear your mask. Be safe, be careful. Today, we're coming from my office. I've got some artwork behind me. Um, let's see if I can tell you about some of it. If I got time, do I have time? I'll tell you what, I'm going to tell you about it at the end if I have time, okay? I'm going to tell you a story today, all right? Um, this goes back to my very first year in ministry. I was 25 years old, new pastor in a church in a small town in Alabama. And the Methodist minister came to me. He had probably 20 years on me, age-wise, and he said, let's go down here and watch the high school football team practice. It was summer. It was August, time for their preseason practice, getting ready for their regular season in September. So we went down to the practice field, and the coach had no problem with us being there. And we sat around and walked around and saw the kids and young men, and they were, putting in their offense, running patterns, tackling, doing their drills of running with the football and trying to strip it out of each other's arms. It was a sweaty day, hot day, a lot of yelling, a lot of coaching, some water breaks. He was a tough coach. This was a coach that probably was maybe a decade or decade and a half beyond his prime, I think. He'd won some titles and had some great teams, but he was, a little bit past his prime maybe. That still didn't mean he wasn't a good coach, just meant that maybe there were some younger guns that were a little better than him. But anyway, we left practice that day, and the Methodist minister said to me, he said, there's a lot of rough language out there, don't you think? I didn't say anything. He said, well, there's a lot of cussing that goes on. That guy cusses a whole lot at our young men, don't you think? And I didn't say anything. He said, well, I really think somebody needs to say something to him about the way he cusses, the way he's always cussing and using the Lord's name in vain and cussing at the players. I was 25 and I was young, and I could see, however, where this was going. He was going to want me, as the Baptist minister, to run point on trying to get this coach to be a bit more cooperative and a bit more, I guess, civil or Christian, I don't know what the word would be, in his language. Well, I'm a native of Alabama. I know the hierarchy, okay? Football coach up here, right here, at the top. Football coach right here. Doesn't matter if it's pee-wee, high school, middle school, college, football coach here. Preacher, down here, a little bit lower than the screen. There is a great deal of difference between the two authorities. Preacher, down here, football coach up here. I knew how that was going to go. And so I just kind of deflected and said, the boys will survive that. I survived it. You probably survived it. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say anything to him. And I left it at that. Now, if you're looking for a moral of this story, I think it is the fact that it still resonates with me 30 years later. It is a symbol of Christianity that we always make mountains out of molehills. Think of how small, with all the sin in the world, with all the crisis in the world, with all the misery in the world, cussing has to be like this small. I mean, there are so many bigger issues, so many things that really do hurt humanity in significant ways that Jesus would cry over. And there's the Christian church fighting this little bitty battle. So, the moral of the story is this: don't make mountains out of molehills. There's a lot of things that are really, really small. Spend your time, spend your energy trying to influence the world for good. Pick some battle worth fighting, not a battle over whether or not somebody's language is too salty. Have a good day. Bye now.